All right, so now we're on unit rate. So unit rate is different from ratios. Don't get those two mixed up. Unit rate expresses a ratio as part to one or one unit of another quantity. So for an example, if a car travels 240 miles in 4 hours, the car can travel 60 miles per hour, per 1 hour. So we write that as 60 to 1. And we'll figure that out because what we're going to do is we're going to divide it, the 240 miles, by 4 hours. Because what we know is, okay, yeah, we can travel 240 miles in 4 hours, but how many miles can we travel in just 1 hour? We just want to know the one. And that's the biggest thing is that the unit rate, you really want to find out what the one is. And that's going to help you on a lot of your other problems going forward because you're going to be able to, if you can find out what one is, then you can multiply and you can find out any of them. So you can see right here, I divided 240 for the 240 miles, divided by 4 for 4 hours, and that's how I got the 60. Now, all of this, remember, you'll be able to keep using your calculator, so you don't have to worry too much about that. So tables right here, this is very helpful. Using tables can help you find the missing values. So, and you can use these for word problems. If you have a word problem, write it out. Write it down. It doesn't have to be in a box or nothing fancy, but just write it out. And then that way you'll be able to see what exactly you got to figure out. So, for instance, on this question, we got the number of laps right here and the total distance in meters. And we're trying to figure out what is this. So we know in 2 laps, we can go 80 meters. In 4 laps, we can go 160 meters. In 8 laps, we can go 320, and 10 laps, we can go 400, but we don't really know exactly what this 6 is. So now, for this one, you may be able to see that there is a pattern here. However, it's not always going to be this easy. This is an easier problem. So yeah, you might be able to look and find a pattern that is going to be easy to just move forward on, but you really will want to just make sure you at least double check yourself. You might have to figure out what the value of 1 is and then multiply it. So what we'll do is right here is we'll divide 80 divided by 2. We know it's going to be 40. And so we're going to know that, well, if that's going to mean that if 2 divided by 80 is going to be 40. So we know it's 40 meters for every 1 hour, okay? So it's going to be 1 to 40. And so right here, we're going to know that then if this is 40, all we're going to have to take is multiply 40 by 6 to find this answer right here. And then I'm just going to do this right over here on the side. So 240, and that right there is what that answer is going to be. We have another right here, another example. So if for 2 hours of work, someone's working on a car, and it's 2 hours of work costs $90, 5 costs $225, 8 costs, we're not sure, and 11 costs $495. The biggest, again, just divide that cost by the hours to see what 1 unit is. Remember, we want to just find out what 1 unit is. So again, let's go over here off to the side. We're going to say for $90 is the cost. We're trying to figure out what 2 hours is. Well, 2 divided by 90 is going to be 45. So we know for every 1 hour is $45. So what is going to be 8 hours? So we can just, again, go off to the side and say 45 times 8. So we know 8 times 5 is 40. And then we carry the 4. And then 8 times 4 is 32. Plus the 4 is going to be 36. So it's going to be $360. So that's how we figure that part out. Sometimes you just got to figure out, here's another example right here when it comes to when we have like decimals or cents part of the equation. So we can buy 3 donuts for $2.46, but we want to know how much 5 donuts are going to cost. So if the question was just asking, we buy $3 donuts for $2.46, that's just a one-step problem. We're just going to have to say $2.46 divided by 3. And we know that that is going to be 24 and then 2. So 82 cents each, right? So that's what each donut costs 82 cents. And then if that was we didn't have this part right here, then we'll be done. But we do need to know how much does 5 cost. So what are we going to do? We're going to take this answer and we're going to multiply it by 5. So, I got it all. Actually, I got it all worked down right here. So divide the 246 by 3 to find out what one donut cost. Then multiply by 5. I have my little donut over here with sprinkles. So I did the math over here already. So 5 donuts is going to cost $4.10. Here, I think, is my last example. If you travel 306 miles on 12 gallons, 306 miles on 12 gallons, how many miles can you travel on 20 gallons? Again, you just want to make sure that you're writing it down. So what we do know is 12 gallons is going to equal 306 miles, right? So we know that, and we know that we got to figure out what 20 gallons is, but we're not really sure what that's going to be yet. So how we can figure that out is we're going to say, what is 1 gallon? Well, let's go over here off to the side. We know 306 miles. We can go 306 miles off 12 gallons because we just figured that out right here. And those two, again, using your calculator, you'll be able to figure that out, and that's going to be 25.5 miles. So we know for every gallon, 1 gallon, we can go to 25.5 miles. But we need to figure out, again, what is that going to be? What is 20 gallons going to equal at this rate right here? Well, again, we're going to take 25.5 and we're going to multiply it by 20, and we get 510 miles. So we know that 20 gallons will be able to get us about 510 miles. All right, well, that's going to be all on unit rates, and we're going to be moving on to the next one shortly.